Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And as you guys can see, I am back in the war wagon to wrap up this ATF committee interview, all the witness stuff, because we have another superstar on the rise on the Republican side going after the ATF overreach, and his name is Byron Donaldson. Now, this is something you're going to want to send out because he hits on something even more different than the other reps, and this is worth your time as well. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about this one, and please, again, send this one out. And if you are new or you're a returning viewer, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. We need as many people as we can to get into the fold with us, to spread this information out, and help pass the blessing of the Second Amendment along to the next generation. Thank you so much in advance for your consideration, and tonight's content is brought to you by We the People Holsters. We the People carries holster and accessories you need for the everyday carry, and their products are manufactured in the United States in Las Vegas, Nevada. They have tactical Talon belts. They're 1.5-inch belts for all your existing pants, patent-pending Talon buckle for longevity, and an elastic mag carrier to give that little extra bit of utility. They have an independence model, and if you're looking for the ultimate belt in concealed carry that doesn't compromise on style, that's the one you need. It's got 100% premium full-grain leather and reinforced with heavy-duty nylon and scuba. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. They have a 100% lifetime warranty guarantee, and it's worth your time to at least check it out. There's a link down there in the description box, and thank you so much to We the People for making this content possible. All right, my brothers and sisters, as I mentioned in the introduction, this is Byron Donaldson. This guy, star on the rise right here, because he is laying out some very important distinctions around the different things that his colleagues and the Republicans did in this exact same committee hearing. Now, this is the last episode that we're going to do on this because there was so much goodness in this, but I'm going to play the first clip, and he lays something out here and asks the witness a very good question around what's the point of this, and she even brings up history in the NFA and what it was intended. This is gold. Check this out.
About this. Ms. Swearer, you just saw the video that was up on the screen. Do you have a response for this video?
Yes, though I suppose Mr. Bosco does as well. I think it's being used in a way to misconstrue the reality of SBRs. Like SBRs are actually still used by plenty of Americans who do have disabilities, but also just from the standpoint of SBRs themselves, they were the loophole, an attempt to regulate a loophole while trying to essentially ban handguns. Their restriction under the NFA has always been irrational. This idea that somehow a 14.5-inch barrel is more concealable than a 16.5-inch barrel when you walk in to commit a mass shooting, and that's why they choose it. It's just not realistic. It's the same gun. If you take that same gun and put it in a 16-inch barrel, if anything, the muzzle velocity will be increased when it is fired. So it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
She just hit on something incredibly important. Did you guys know, let me know in the comments field, that the original intent of the NFA was a compromise for short-barreled rifles because they wanted to ban pistols? Did you know that? That's actually fact. That's what actually happened. Tim actually broke it out on Second Legacy in one of our conversations. It was an amazing conversation. But that's the entire piece. This entire thing was already bananas out the gate, and it doesn't make any sense. 14.5 inches, 16 inches. In fact, it has no difference on the terminal velocity of those projectiles, except, like she said, with a longer barrel, you get more inertia or velocity. In most cases. Don't hold me to that in all cases. But that's the entire point. This thing doesn't make sense. So why are we holding it, especially when the original intent was to ban handguns, which coincidentally is banning another piece. This is ATF overreach. This is the exact same stuff 90 years later. Check this out. Go to the second one. This is another really great one because he goes after the same slimy guy from Every Time for Gun Safety, but the way he does it is also gold. I like gold today. Let's hit it.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think it's okay for the ATF to act outside of congressional legislative authority, criminalizing 10 million Americans who are currently law-abiding citizens?
It's good to see another proud son of Brooklyn. I don't believe that is what ATF is doing here, so I disagree with the premise.
Do you think that by this rule, there will not be 10 million felons in the United States because they bought a product that the ATF authorized to be sold and that the ATF said was legal up until the Biden administration?
So, not liking a law isn't a reason for ATF not to
Well,
enforce
Mr.
it.
Wilcox, there's no law. Congress didn't pass it. That's a rule from ATF.
So now you guys obviously know the obvious thing I'm going to hit on there is no law. There is no existing passing of legislation, so it's an usurping of power. We hit that all the time. But he hit something else really important. He got that witness to say, I disagree with the premise. That's not what the ATF is doing. They're not making felons out of law-abiding citizens overnight. They're not. We just read exactly what they're doing. How are they not? Well, I disagree with the premise. Go back to earlier videos. They're a tool to fight crime. Well, you may not like them, and because you think it's virtuous, just because you think it's virtuous doesn't make it constitutional. It's a tool to fight crime. I don't agree with that premise. Therefore, we can't have a conversation because I just simply don't agree with your premise. It's clear and obvious what's happening here. This guy has been trained on how to avoid and basically circumvent questions by either saying he doesn't agree with the premise, skirting around the issue, or just flat out arguing and saying the same phrase over and over again like a tool to fight crime in Matt Gaetz' video. But now I'm going to show you one more. Again, Byron Donaldson is asking all the right questions. Check it out.
Let me ask you this question. Do you believe in separation of powers?
Of course,
Do you believe that the legislative power resides within the congressional body and not the executive?
I do.
So then why do you think it's okay for the ATF to come up with some rule with the force of law?
So that's a really good question. You agree in the separation of powers? So far, we've seen Lauren Boebert come up with it on the House floor. We've seen Thomas Massey. We've now seen Byron Donaldson. We've seen Jim Jordan. We've seen Matt Gaetz. This chorus is getting louder, and they're all saying the exact same thing. How did the ATF pass a law when they can't pass a law, and they're just making rules out of whole cloth which hold the penalty of law? That is big, people. Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.